Welcome to a new episode of Massage Wise, YouTubers. Today we're going to be talking about something really simple. We're going to be talking about the first day of work at any massage job and a couple of the things you should do to make sure that you get the best experience out of the day. Also, a reminder to those who are not new or those who are new, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to this channel, subscribe and hit that bell so you can be alerted whenever we upload new content. Because everybody knows that the YouTube algorithm is nobody's friend. So like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends so we can share this information and uplift the entire profession, you could say, with more informed and better skilled workers. So like we said, welcome to the newbies that are here, and thank you for coming back to my subscribers. So today we're going to be talking about that first day of work. You're fresh out of school, you're so green, but you're so excited, and this is kind of give you a little taste of what to expect and a couple of suggestions to help you really transition well into your new job. So by this point, you've already gone through the interview process, you've got your insurance, and you have your basic skills. You have to realize one important thing first. If you go into this job and you act like you know it all, you can't prove you know anything. And I mean anything. Your certification says that you went through a 500-hour program to learn the bare basics. So the first suggestion is not to come in and pretend like you know everything. Yes, you could be well read, but unless you have the certification, papers, so in essence, to prove that you know it, don't pretend like you know it. It's a lot easier to come into this profession and be like the philosopher that says, I don't know, but I can find out, rather than I went to school and we did all this stuff in school. You can't prove anything from school. There's no documentation that proves that you know what you know outside of the bare bones basic. Next, you're going to want to definitely get a lay of the land. You're going to want to know how many other therapists are at this particular site that you're working, what their specialties are, and how long they have worked there. This is going to give you a good, balanced idea of who you can go to for different things and who you're probably going to enjoy working couples massage with and who you're probably not. Because you are going to run into those people that do exceptionally well with couples massage, only with a different personality type to them. For example, I had two people that I loved doing couples massage with. Um, I'm not going to give you their names, but I'm just going to say, like, one was the work mom from my first official retreat job. She was amazing. Whenever you were in the couples massage with her, she always maintained the energy being very light, very cordial, very happy, and jovial. It was so good working with her in the couples room that it made me really want to focus on being a better massage therapist when working in tandem. Another one was a male therapist, and I am very supportive of male therapists that take their profession very seriously. He and I had a good repertoire with each other and could work well. Um, I being the younger, less experienced, and he being older and more experienced, it was also good to converse and see what I can learn through good, well-formed questions from him. And as a new massage therapist, you're going to have to learn where your boundaries are as far as if you don't do couples massage or you enjoy doing couples massage. This is something that they don't train you for in massage school. They teach you the basics. They teach you basically how to do a really simple massage, and they train your body through the 500-hour program in many states. Some states have more. How to have the endurance and focus. That's all they really do. So when you go into the work field, there's going to be a couple of things that they're going to be throwing at you from left field. Next is going to be the policies. You're used to everything at the school. Now, some of these schools may teach you a lot more skills than others, but like I said, you technically don't know anything. You have enough knowledge for a licensure, so that means nothing compared to a lot of these therapists and a lot of these bosses that have had massage therapists that have been there for literally years. So your best bet is to accept that you really don't on paper know anything except for the basics. So when you go into a new job, it's best to really want to get everything out of their training program. Many of these retreats and spas that I've worked for have a training program, and it might just be a couple of hours during a day to make sure you know hot stone, deep tissue, a couple of other things. Really accept that you don't know anything in comparison to a lot of your coworkers that have been there for years, and be open to learning more. Um, for example, most schools don't teach you how to do hot stones, and most retreats really know that you can get a lot of work done with these hot stones if the client wants it. In the spas, you may do body wraps, you might do hydrotherapy, you may not. But when it comes to their training, really engross yourself in this training and adapt a lot of these policies. This will help you stay longer in this particular industry. A lot of the time, you also want to know what their business model is. If their business model is very massage therapist friendly, you want to know. If it's not, you're going to want to know where those boundaries are so you have an idea of what you need to do to be a useful enough worker to be kept. And in this instance, you're going to have to know one of two things. One, their training program, you want to make sure you get out of it everything you possibly can. And you want to make sure that you have a friendly enough relationship with your coworkers, which you might not see during an entire shift, depending on how booked they are. And number two is whether or not their laundry is exported out or done in house. If it is done in house, my experience with a lot of these places is that the front desk typically is said to do the laundry, but let's be honest, I've been in this industry long enough to know if it's done in house, 9 times out of 10, it's the therapist doing the laundry. If you have an hour between clients, that means you're probably going to be in the break room so that you're not making, clutter in the hallway. You want this to be a relaxing therapeutic experience. Once you get your room reset up and you have an hour, you're in the break room, and that break room typically has the washing machine. So you might have majored in massage, but you, in many cases, would benefit from minoring in laundry and making sure that you show your new boss that you don't have an ego that says, well, I do massage, I don't do laundry. It's not going to hurt you any to do a load or two of laundry if you actually have the time. And when it comes to seeing who to get rid of, if they need to cut the human resources, um, they're going to look at people who bring in the money with the clientele, and then they're going to also plausibly look into usefulness. Are you willing to do stuff? Are you willing to do laundry? Do you make a big scene or noise about having to clean your space? This is stuff that's very important in being in the workforce and being gainfully employed and keeping a good repertoire with your boss and the building to make sure that you keep your job. Now, you really need to identify what kind of a boss you have as well. There are a lot of kind of bosses, and 9 times out of 10 in this industry, you're going to run into a female boss. So this comes with upsides and downsides. Um, the upside is there's a large population of women that are in the massage industry, and chances are you're going to run into them. So there's that level of expectability. And two, you have to know this boss's management type. Are they always gone? Are they more hands on? Are they kind of the kind to assume the worst but not ask questions to see if it actually happened? Or are these kinds of bosses the ones that are like, okay, I have built a repertoire with this particular therapist. I know this therapist. So what we can do is we can ship this client over to somebody else and make sure that their needs are met, but we're not going to match them up with a therapist that they're going to be complaining about. You need to know these kinds of things so you know the lay of the land at your work. It's important to know this because at times you're going to have hard days. You're going to have days where you thought the session went amazing. You did your best work, and at the same time, you're going to hear that this person complained about you. Now, that is where knowing what kind of a boss you have is very important. Next would be your coworkers. And like I said before, with the couples massage, you really need to know the personality types of your coworkers. And when you know the personality types of your coworkers, it's a lot easier to figure out who you're going to end up working well with and who you're not going to end up working well with. Now, being so new, it's easy to not really upset a lot of people if you just do your best, observe, keep your nose clean, and for the more part, it's going to sound hard to some people, but be quiet. Listen and observe and take in everything that you can because you're still so new. A lot of this industry you're not familiar with. And when you're not familiar with it, you're walking on a bit of a shaky ground. So, my first retreat job, we had the work mom, very considerate woman. Work moms tend to have been in this industry for a very long while. I think she had been in this industry for like 12 years. She used to be a nurse. But she was very supportive and she really wanted a lot of the new recruits to really take in and grow and really help the retreat that we worked for. We had one girl that had been there literally since the opening of this particular retreat. And knowing what kind of a boss you have really plays in here because when I got there within the first year, I had gone through 4 bosses, 3 of which shared the same name. Imagine that creative, focus on which one's my boss. Um, but with this industry, there's a lot of turnover and there's a lot of observation that you need to keep when you're looking at your boss, when you're looking at your coworkers. We called her Big Angry. Um, but then you have you. How do you work in all of this? That's another point that you need to figure because you can't just go in there with the same persona that you did at school. At school, you're a student, you're equal to your fellow students. In the industry, there is a big gap between you and your coworkers often. Um, the only time that there was an exception of this was towards the end before I moved from Texas to here in Louisiana, where we had 3 noobs, 2 of which that went to school together, and that is its own Pandora's box at times. It can go well. And lastly, the most important thing is you're going to have to realize that not every therapist is for literally everybody. Um, Probably the majority of the clients that you initially get are clients that they haven't had matches with anybody that's already there. Or these are clients that have complained about almost everybody there. My first retreat job, we literally had one client that had gone through every single therapist there, and every one of the therapists said, "Don't ever give her to me again." Um, they were trying just to get her credit hours completed because the industry does a lot to teach the therapists, the newbies, and those that have been there before. I haven't seen any of the channels that do what I do and educate the clientele. Um, so this particular client didn't communicate well. The only time, in my experience, my one time with her, the only time she actually did verbalize anything was to complain. And then when you try to correct it and you inquire further, there's no answer. And with no communication, there's no improvement. So, of course, you're not going to have a very good experience. And that's why communication in the spa room should be spoken softly, but should still be there. Maybe not consistent throughout the entire session, but you should check in 2 or 3 times during the session, especially if it's a 1 hour session, as to whether the pressure is good, whether they're comfortable. You need to learn how to read the body language and see if you can learn when your clients sleep versus when they're being quiet because they are uncomfortable. Learn to have a bit of a thick skin in this instance because, like I said before, not every therapist is going to be able to do what every client desires deeply. You have some clients that want just a silent session, hence why you want those very softly spoken check-in moments. But for the more part, you don't want to do too much. And then you have those that just don't stop talking. And you know what? These people, they pay good money for it. You can do a very good massage. You can be like their therapist for the session. Just listen to their issues and whatnot. Nod every once in a while, say, okay, just pretend like you're paying attention to the conversation at the very least, if you're not interested in the topic matter. And do a good job. Check in, make sure you do your best. And they may be a regular, and regulars do pay good tips. So keep that in mind. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Like I said earlier, I have more videos for first year massage therapists or newbies, and I do videos for clientele. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have questions that you'd like to have answered, and or if you have something specific you'd like me to do a video on. I have videos organized for clients and videos organized for firsties. And I hope that you guys have a good day and check out my other videos at MassageWise. Bye.